What's up, everybody? This is Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger, and you are watching Ranger Wrap Up. Uysa!
Welcome to the Ranger Wrap-Up. It is Saturday. And like I always say, every Saturday on our stream, thank you so much for being here. You could be anywhere else in the world today, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that. Now, unfortunately, we are taking a small little break for the Christmas holiday season, so this stream will be in place of that. This is a special stream because we got a bunch of fun Power Ranger content for you. I know we aired a Beast Morphers wrap-up interview at the end of last stream and it crashed on us, so we're going to be giving you the full interview there, and we're going to be giving you the Simon Bennett interview that Joe did. Also, I have some figures that I would like to review for you, so you guys sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And remember, this is the Ranger Wrap-Up.
First of all, thank you for joining me. We are on the precipice of the finale of Power Rangers Beast Morphers, one of the best seasons, I may say. So thank each and every one of you guys for joining me. I'm a huge Power Ranger fan, and let's kick this off.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. So first question I have for you guys, were you aware with the connections of the past seasons of Power Rangers when you knew you would be returning, that the past seasons would be ingrained into this Beast Morphers season?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't
I think none of us did.
Really?
I think the fans knew before we did.
Right.
I think when we got the scripts is when we knew what was happening that episode, but we never really knew anything ahead of time. Yeah, I think that's how it happened, right, guys?
Yeah,
Pretty
pretty
much.
much.
Just like our executive producer, Chip, he wouldn't tell us because he would want us to be excited when it happens.
Sure.
So even like when we were building the sets at first, the Power Ranger sets, main unit and second unit, he wouldn't let us see. He's like, you guys can go in there and ruin the surprise because it's not done, or you guys can wait till it's fully done and you guys can, be mind blown. Same thing with this one. He didn't tell us until he was dropping like little hints here and there, but he didn't tell us until the table read, which got us the best reaction out of us.
That's
Even like people in the crew knew not to tell us, because I feel like we'd sometimes try to get it out of hair and makeup because they would get the scripts ahead of time. Like everyone knew what was happening before we knew. Like we were the last ones to know. So we try to like dig and like try to get them to tell us like who was coming back, like what was happening in the next scripts. And they were all really good at like not saying anything until we got the scripts ourselves.
Essentially, it was like you were being a Ranger fan. How about how they dig into that information as well? I like that, Abraham. Yeah. Now, Rory, this question's for you. The Evox reveal shocked a lot of fans. With Power Rangers RPM being such a beloved iteration of the franchise, can you talk to me about any kind of preparation you had to do for RPM or anything like that?
Dude, literally, they didn't tell us that we were going to have any type of, homage to any type of Ranger season. But luckily, I binge watched a ton of Power Ranger seasons. RPM just so happened to be my favorite season, binge watching. So it was kind of like oh wow, this is a real thing for me too. Like I straight up watched Scott, just do his thing as the Red Ranger. And then I just liked the season because it had a darker vibe to it as well. And I just love the ending because it was just like, wow, it's just the worlds were being destroyed at this point in time. But no, I didn't have any type of, knowledge of any past Ranger seasons.
Now, Jackie, this was really a love letter. This season felt like a love letter to the fans, a culmination, if you will, for the last 20 plus years of Power Rangers, encompassed into 2 seasons, essentially. And in the finale, we really get to see that. And we get a huge Dino team up. How familiar with you prior to Power Rangers, getting the role of Power Rangers, were you familiar with some of these past seasons and past actors, iterations of the series?
Yeah, kind of the same as Rory. I just really try to binge watch like as many seasons as I could, especially even while we were in New Zealand. I was still, I'd get home and I'd watch some episodes. I'd watch the the Japanese version of ours, the Go Busters. So yeah, I mean, I really didn't have much knowledge other than like watching Power Rangers with my brother when I was wee tall. Like I did not really retain any of that information. So I definitely had to do my research whilst we were filming and during the whole process.
Now, Jazz, I'm going to start with you on this one. At the end of the finale, there's a bit of an epilogue that happens to let us know kind of where your characters are in the universe. If you had your choice with that 1 year later epilogue, where would you want to see your character at in the Power Rangers universe? We'll go through all of you guys to get there.
That's putting me on the spot, Joe. I think the way how they ended it was very well done, and I think I would really love to see my character Robbie to be able to express himself more through painting and having that really, really nice relationship with my mom, but I don't feel like I don't have to hide anything. And also, just being true to myself, being true to, Robbie being true to himself, painting, but also still love becoming a Power Ranger, love being a Power Ranger. And I mean, as far as that's what I would just like to see my character to be, a painter.
How about you, Abraham?
I would love to see more of Zoe and Nate's dynamic, because throughout the series, we see them, trying to be in this relationship and trying to make it work out. And then eventually the commander, takes away that rule to where they can't date. And then now they are allowed to date. But I would love to see even more their life outside of Grid Battle Force and outside of being Power Rangers, and just see, where their relationship goes. As well as Steel, at the end of the finale, we see that he becomes human. And we know what Steel is like as a robot in Grid Battle Force, but I think it's so interesting to see what his life and what he would be as a human, and just see all the things that he's always wished of wanting to do as a robot now as a human. So I feel like that would be really, really fun to see him as a human.
How about you, Jacqueline?
Well, so in the finale, everybody kind of has their new roles and everything. And I loved the one line that the mayor hinted that I might run for mayor. So I definitely would love to see Zoe being the mayor of Coral Harbor, but also definitely more with Nate and Zoe. I think we got really nice glimpses of their relationship, but I definitely would love to see more of that and where it goes and how it kind of intertwines with the storyline.
And Rory, your character is the commander at the end of all this. Do you think he would still be the Red Ranger, or would it be Blaze or Jazz's character, Robbie?
So I have thought about this. I think
Yeah.
I think that me and Nate had a conversation about this once the commander role became, out there, and I was in line for it. I think I had a conversation, should we give this title to somebody else? And I think Nate's words would be like, the grid chose you, the power chose you, so it's you. So hey, I'm still the
That's right. That's a twist. The commander and the Red Ranger.
I love it. Now, this question is for you, Abraham. I love your character, and I love the storyline about Steel and Nate. And I like the brotherhood that's found there. Can you talk to me about what you wanted to bring to the role of Nate that wasn't necessarily on the page?
Something that I wanted to bring in, I think, was I love in general as an actor playing like kind of snarky roles. So I kind of like wanted to play that with Nate as much as I could. And there are little moments here and there throughout the show where he can, get a little like sassy and like, I don't know, very confident and stuff. So I had a lot of fun playing that when I could. And also like, I really wanted to make it a thing that he says phenomenal at least once in every episode. And there were times where he'd say a different word, like something similar. And I would ask the director if I could just change it to phenomenal to keep that going. And sometimes they'd allow it if it went along with the scene. So yeah, that was something that I also pushed for. And yeah, I worked really hard in showing that genuine dynamic between me and Steel. Just as brothers, Nate never had a family member around growing up in Grid Battle Force was such a adult professional environment. So I really wanted to show that different side of him and just see that connection to a family member and that love that he wasn't able to show all of his life growing up. So, yeah.
Now, I was there at Morphicon when you guys were announced as the new Power Rangers, which is a tradition at Morphicon. And unfortunately, with the COVID, we didn't get that with Dino Fury. But is there a bit of advice that the Ninja Steel cast bestowed upon you that was useful during your duration on Power Rangers? And the second part of that is there anything that you would want to tell the Dino Fury cast coming in from your experience on Power Rangers?
I think Morphicon was such a special time. So I'm so sad that we didn't get to kind of hand that experience over to the new cast. I hope somehow in the future we can, because it really was such a big shock. Yeah. A big shock into just like the entire universe of Power Rangers. And I don't remember any specific advice they gave us, but I did get a chance to have a lunch with Nico before I left, and he kind of like filled me in on how it's going to go. And I guess really one of the biggest things was that they kept saying, like, do reality checks with yourself. Like, sit down and write about like what you're going through and how you're feeling, because the days are going to go by so fast that you're not even going to remember anything that happened, and all of a sudden, you know, it's over. So I think Nico's biggest advice to me was just like really check in with yourself as much as you can and just be grateful and soak it in. And so I guess I would just kind of pass that advice on to the next cast as well, to just kind of really document this time and really make sure that they're aware of it and present in every moment.
I love that. Now, are you guys ready for a little Power Ranger quiz? Now, again, this is super easy. At least I hope so. It should be fairly easy, and we'll go through it all. But Jazz, I'm going to start with you. What is your character's last name?
My last name, Mr. Shaw.
Was what?
Mr. Shaw.
That is correct. That is correct.
Mr. Shaw.
Rory, what season did your what city did your season take place in?
Coral Harbor.
Coral Harbor. Coral Harbor is the correct answer. Jackie, so the first season had the putties. What did you guys have? What were your guys' henchmen? Tronics is correct. And Abraham, this one's for you, because one of my favorite episodes this season was definitely that musical episode.
Yes.
The Silver Switch. I love that episode. So do you know your season's theme song?
Do
Sing
I know
it.
Oh, like I need to sing it?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're like, he did the musical, so I'm gonna have him sing the theme song.
Can we all chime in?
Yeah,
No.
let's
Yeah, you
all-
can absolutely.
we all sing it.
Put 'em
Let's
on
all
the
sing it.
Dun, 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 dun.
Go Power Rangers. Go
Dun,
With
dun,
your-
dun, dun.
I love it.
Go Power Rangers, go Power Rangers.
I don't think our lag was just so.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Edited together, that's going to be brilliant. Let me just say.
Yes.
auto-tune on there, and it's the same.
Edited together, that's going to be great. Now,
Put Neil in there.
the last question I have for each of you, if you had to compile your own ultimate Power Rangers team without characters from your season, which other 5 Rangers would be on your team? We'll start with you, Rory.
Ooh, why you put me on the spot? Okay. It would definitely be JDF, Leo, Jaden, Coda. How many people?
You got one more to go.
And I need a science guy. Nate. I got you. Him.
Well, I know that was almost a little mini Forever Red there. Nate, 5 other Rangers. Who would you choose?
It's always my answer, but I'm just so loyal to my Gold Rangers. So just all of my Gold Rangers from each season.
I love it. I love it. Jacqueline?
Well, okay, I actually really would want Hunter Dino. I think what's her character's name? Maybe Amelia.
Amelia, yes.
I want Amelia on my team because she already seems so cool. And then I think I would want I think I would want Coda. I would want. This is gonna be all day. Like, who else do I
Have
want?
what, 27 plus seasons?
Yeah,
I know,
seriously.
I'm like
I need to choose.
everybody. Austin St. John, obviously, because you have to have the OG on there. Let's do Kimberly. How many is that? That's 5, right?
I think, yeah. And Jazz, how about yourself?
Covered up.
I would start it with Kimberly, JDF, Austin, Coda, and Davi.
Now, that's a great team, actually. I mentioned earlier that Silver Switch episode, like we've had Power Ranger musicals in the past, but this one took it to a whole new level, and I love that episode. Can you talk to me about when you knew you guys were going to be doing that, and how much more either difficult or different it is doing that choreography compared to the fighting choreography that you guys might be used to doing?
I think we found out prior to getting the next scripts, which was the episode of the musical episode, our executive producer, Chip, texted me if I knew how to sing or dance. And when we get these text messages, like, we all know something's up. Like, because the last time I got a text like this was if I was okay with spiders. And then I ended up doing that episode with Ravi where he, the teeth thing or whatever, and then I hold the spider. So I knew there was going to be like something coming, and I responded like, well, I don't really sing, and like, I'm okay with dancing. And it was just like, that's what it was. And then next thing you know, we get our scripts, and there's just this whole full-blown musical number. And I was so above and beyond ecstatic because I love everything like High School Musical and stuff. That's always been a dream to do something like this. So yeah, the fact that we got to do that was just insane. And then our choreographer was Olivia Tennant, who played Dr. K in our.
Was it really?
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
a choreographer, which is really cool because, I love Dr. K. We get compared a lot, Nate and Dr. K. So it was really cool to meet her and get to work with her on that. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was crazy. It was a lot of hard work. We went in on our days off. We worked really, really hard. And it really was just a dream come true. It was so memorable. It was such an epic thing. And it's cool that, our season got to do it. And like, we're the first to do something that crazy and big and different. And yeah, as it's our favorite, and I think it's a lot of the fans' favorite as well.
I agree. And this season got to do a lot of firsts. So I want to thank all you guys for your time. And the season's been the last 2 seasons have been incredible. Beast Morphers was phenomenal, and I appreciate you guys for sticking in there and just giving us some great content. So thank you guys so much for your time. I truly appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's good seeing you guys. Thank you.
You too.
Now we gotta-
Wowzer, that was awesome. Great job, Joe. Great job. It's always nice to see the Beast Morphers cast because, in my opinion, they're one of my favorite cast ensembles that we've seen with the Neo Saban era. But yes, they are so much fun. We have another interview towards the end of the show. But first, let's get started off with a little quick toy review. The first thing that I have for you guys is the Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin Metallic Pink Ranger. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that cool? You know what's crazy about this? Even the box has a little bit of sparkle to it. A little bit of sparkle to it. I don't know if you can tell. It's really cool. So let's open this box up. Let me show you everything. So there's a Pink Ranger right there. Ooh. You got the figure. Of course, you got the awesome box art. I think it's the same as the last Pink Ranger figure, but a little bit of sprinkles on it. A little bit of sprinkles. So let's open this up, yeah? This is interesting because I think that this would be an opportunity for them to release an Aisha figure, since she won't be in Zeo. We won't get her head sculpt, but that's one way. So we're going to pull it out of the box. I'm going to see what's in here. Let us see. Ooh, there's something really cool here. Okay, so everything that came in the box, let me zoom in or focus on it for a little bit. Okay. So you got the head sculpt, the 2 hands, the blaster, the bow and arrow, a little energy effect, which is everything that you got from the original Pink Ranger with Kimberly. But also, one thing that's super, super cool is it comes with a Zeo crystal. I don't know if you can tell. Focus. I need to turn autofocus on this thing. Hold on. Alright, autofocus. It comes with a Zeo crystal. Isn't that really cool? That's super awesome. Come on. Come back. Alright, cool. So, it comes with a Zeo crystal, which is awesome. Like I said, it also comes with the Energy Blast arrow. It's colored a little differently than the other one. It kind of goes pink towards the tip, fades out to white, which is kind of cool. Something a little different. You got the regular plastic arrow, which is cool. The bow, of course. Actually, I didn't notice it, but the bow is translucent as well. So that's really cool. Let's see if we could focus. Don't focus on my face. Don't focus on my face. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? That is cool. All right. What else? One thing that is different than the other figures is that they chose to put Catherine's head on first. So that's cool. Instead of the Pink Ranger helmet. So you got Blasta. Come on, I'm so sorry about this. Got the Blasta. You got the helmet. This is the helmet. I'll show you what it is. Let's see. Hold on. That's the helmet. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let's see. Got the 2 hands. I'm gonna show you guys the hands. They're just regular hands, but they're also translucent. So that's cool. And, of course, cat. Ugh, so loud. Sorry. Oop, she's got some strings connecting her to the box. I don't know why they do that. It's already like tight in the box, so I have to make it go crazy. So, looking at this thing, the head sculpt. Let's zoom in right there. The head sculpt. You know what we'll do? This is what we'll do. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that head sculpt right there. Ooh, why are you going away? Let's see. Kind of looks like Cat, I guess. Kinda. Apart from that, everything else looks exactly the same as the Kimberly. She may be a little bit taller. Maybe a little bit. Since I do have the Pink Ranger already, I'm probably gonna display this with Cat's head, which is weird. All the other Rangers in my case don't have their head sculpt, but this one does. I'm gonna connect it. Okay. What are we doing here? Oh. So that's that. All in all, it's a really cool figure. Let me pop the Pink Ranger head on for you guys so you know what it looks like with the translucent wash, or whatever they call it, translucent color scheme. It actually looks really cool. I think eventually when they release all of them, it's going to be a really cool set to have. Another opportunity for them to, bank on the Mighty Morphin line, says, because it's so recognizable for Power Rangers. Next up, in keeping with the Mighty Morphin line, I've got another Green Ranger. Another Tommy figure. Isn't that crazy? But this Green Ranger is the original Green Ranger with the bandana, I guess. Which is cool, why I kind of wanted it. And the non-silver stripe on the helmet. This is the Mighty Morphin Green Ranger. It's a must-have. Must-have. Let's open this up, huh? Y'all know what Green Rangers look like, I guess. Since a lot of you are MMPR fans. I'm gonna pull this out of the box. Ooh, slides out just like that. So, what it comes with is... It comes with the Tommy headband, the Green Ranger figure, the Dragon Dagger, Dark Saber. What else I got here? 2 hands, and the lightning effect. You know what? My cabinet is filled with Green Rangers now. Filled with Green Rangers now. I'm not mad about it. I don't know. So one thing people want to harp on, and which is, you know, justifiable, because why would you do that, you know? When the Fighting Spirit one did have it, but this one, like they all say, it doesn't have the diamond. So, you know, it's a little weird. But this is what I'm going to do. There's a little secret I'm going to tell you guys. I'm going to pop this head off. And once I pop this head off, I'm going to put it on the Fighting Spirit one. And that's a fix. It's a fix. So let me get, what else is in here? Green Dark Energy from the Lightning Saber. Yeah, just put that right in there, you know. Ooh. I enjoy these. I really do. They're pretty cool. Just makes it so much better. So much better. You got the white hands. You guys know the alternate gloves that he has to have for the Dragon Dagger and the closed fist, you know. This is the coolest part. Green bandana Tommy head. So let's pop it off. Let's see. Boom. Boom. You know, I bet we're gonna get another Green Ranger when they announce the Boom Studios Green Ranger identity, which is supposedly matte. So, come on, hold on. Why is it so hard to put on? It's so weird. It's so hard to put on. Just put on your head. Come on. I'm gonna edit this. Fuck, what the fuck? Alright, finally. Alright, so we got it. There's the Green Ranger with the Green Ranger head. Looks pretty cool. All articulation is the same from all the other figures, so that is really awesome. So yeah, if you guys want to pick those up, those are on Hasbro Pulse. I personally got the Pink Ranger from Hasbro Pulse, but I regret that. But the rest of them I got from Amazon. So the next and last figure I have for you today, unless something else comes in the mail, is going to be Red Dino Thunder Ranger. So that's cool. This one is the Dino Thunder Ranger. Really cool. Now I have 3 Dino Rangers, Dino Charge, Dino Mighty Morphin, and Dino Thunder. Oh, let me show you the box. Show you the box. Yeah. We're almost complete with the Dino Thunder team, I think. So that's cool. Ooh. So in the box, you get Connor's head. Come on, zoom out. Connor's head. You get the figure itself, the blaster, 2 extra hands, a Tyranno staff, a little sword, and a little effect here. So let's take out the staff. Staff looks cool. I'll show you. Alright, so right there, you got the little dino head. Not too much detailing, a little bit of gold on here. What else you got? What else you got? I'm assuming this is for the sword effect. So that's cool, which I'll take out. This is the sword. Ooh, come on. Sword, there you go. So, gonna put it on right now. Boom. Fire sword. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool effect. You also got the little blaster, which is really cool. Also, 2 hands, and these are... God, these freaking figures. I'm not very attached to boxes. So, here's Connor's head. Let me do it again. Connor's head. Pretty decent sculpt. He's got that little 90s, early 2000 haircut. Wish I had that. And the figure itself. Everybody loves Dino Thunder because it brought back Dr. Tommy Oliver. Now, a thing that people like to harp on about this figure is there's no silver, or it's silver around the teeth of the helmet and not white. Me personally, I don't care. I don't really care. I mean, it's a $20 figure. I don't really care. One cool thing though, they got a morpher. Look at that morpher. Let me zoom out. Pretty decent, not painted. If you guys are super toy collectors, I guess you can paint it yourselves. But gonna pop it on right here. There you go. Connor's head. Isn't that cool? Oh, his head's a little weird. That looks really cool. I mean, all in all, these figures are pretty cool. You know who this looks like, actually, rather than Connor? It kind of looks like Jared Padalecki from Supernatural. But you guys, thank you so much for watching. Tune in. Next up, we got Joe, who is speaking with Simon Bennett. Enjoy.
Simon Bennett, the man, the myth, the legend. Thank you so much for chatting with me today. I'm super excited. I'm a longtime Power Ranger fan. I've grown up with the franchise. I've watched every season, so I'm extremely excited to talk to you about all this. So first of all, many fans were pleasantly surprised with Power Rangers going back to adapting something like Beast Morphers, which came from Go Busters, because it's the first time Power Rangers went back and adapted a Super Sentai from a previous series. What went into that decision making?
Well, this was before I was involved in that kind of decision making, in that I was the director on Beast Morphers and a director on Ninja Steel, and I've only become executive producer, showrunner on the new season of Dino Fury. But I have talked to Chip Lynn about the decisions that went into adapting Go Busters for Beast Morphers, and he'd had the idea sometime, like some years before it was actually decided to go ahead with it. He'd written up how the adaptation would work. I think I put it in a drawer. And then after Ninja Steel, he dusted off that proposal and pitched it. And everyone was generally enthusiastic. And I think one of the things you have to look at when you're adapting a Sentai series is what is the world? What are the costumes like? What are the Zords like? What are the weapons like? What do all these items look like? And how can we make an exciting story around them? Because Sentai, of course, is the starting point for every Power Rangers season. And I think everyone thought that the costumes, which are leather, unlike the usual spandex, and the Zords and the weaponry and the world of Go Busters had a really cool look to it. And I think that was the starting point for how it came to be adapted. Of course, because all those monster costumes and props were pretty old by the time we got to bring them over from Japan for Beast Morphers, quite a lot of the rubber had perished. And there was quite a lot of rebuilding from scratch that went on. Not to mention the costumes that kind of fell apart on set. I remember shooting a scene with the Ranger teens in the Power Ranger costumes, but with the helmets off. This was actually in the finale episode when Evox is zapping Steel in the center of the Morphex tower, and the Ranger teens are cowering by the door, unable to do anything to help. The trousers of two of the male members of the team were held together with black gaffer tape because they had literally fallen apart at the seams and were completely unshootable. So that's one of the downsides of adapting a season that is quite old. But I think that the aesthetics of Go Busters and the design elements that we adopted and brought into Beast Morphers are fantastic and timeless.
I couldn't agree more. And also, you couldn't be more right. Like, Beast Morphers honestly did feel like a love letter to the fans that have been with the show for about 27 years, because you got those elements and it was like breadcrumbs. You got it in every so often in all these episodes that led up to this epic finale, which was phenomenal. Now, with Beast Morphers diving so deep in the Power Rangers mythology, did that help you prepare to take over the showrunner position for the series?
Only in a little way. I guess when I started shooting scenes in the legendary Ranger Vault, and I realized how important all these various morphers and props were, because they meant something to the fans who'd been loyal to the show for many seasons. And you can't put that one in here because, or it's got to be these ones. I realized there was more to Power Rangers than meets the eye, and there are people out there with a encyclopedic knowledge of the lore and canon, and that is to be respected. And I know that Becca and Alwyn, who are the two story editors on the show, do their utmost to serve the loyalty of those fans who know every detail and every inside out. We use Ranger Wiki a lot to research previous seasons, as well as watching them on Netflix, where they're available here in New Zealand. And we certainly respect the longevity of the show and how deeply the serious fans hold Power Rangers in their hearts.
Absolutely, and I'm one of those fans. So I know that you're taking over the EP role for Dino Fury, but you directed Ninja Steel and Beast Morphers, as you stated. Can you talk to me about when you knew that you wanted to dip your toes further into the franchise?
That's an interesting question. I mean, I was approached while I was still directing Beast Morphers. So when I was directing the finale, I knew that there would be, I would be going straight into a handover with Chip. But I haven't, sorry, I'll start again. My track record in screen drama is in both creative producing and directing. I've done both for many years. So coming into Power Rangers as a director, once I'd got over the initial terror and getting my head around the sheer complexity of making a show like this, because it's not at all easy, I did think I would love to actually work on a new season from the beginning and have involvement in all the creative aspects of a Power Rangers show that a director doesn't have. Because as a director, you come on board a couple of weeks before shooting starts, you get given your scripts, you work out how to shoot them, you film them with the crew and with the actors, you've got 3 days in the editing room, and then you walk away. And the year or so of development that goes up to that point is run by the showrunner. And then post-production, the final cut, and the visual effects, and the ADR, and all those elements that go into polishing the show in the showrunner's hands again. So the idea of having a complete creative overview of a season really appealed to me, because I like the show. I didn't know it before I started working on it. So I can't say my association with Power Rangers goes back for decades. But once I jumped into this particular pool and saw how much fun it could be, I fell in love and wanted to keep working on it.
I love it, because I also have a 5-year-old stepdaughter, and I got her into Power Rangers, so it almost felt like a passing of the torch essence to me as well. So I love the aspect of the series continuing on for future iterations to come. Now, Chip Lynn is legendary in the Power Ranger world. He's been the showrunner for quite a while. Can you talk to me about any advice Chip may have given you when knowing that you were going to helm the series?
I can't think of any specific advice. We did work together very closely. He stayed in New Zealand probably for a year after filming finished on Beast Morphers. So he and I worked together closely with the story editors on developing the new season. And I guess watching how Chip worked in that showrunner role taught me a lot just simply through observation. I think that the main things I picked up from Chip were treat people with kindness, because he is a very kind person, and treat everyone with the respect they're due as being experts in their field. So that's really important. But also his attention to detail is formidable. There isn't a single aspect of the show that he doesn't cast his eye over. Every single prop, every single costume, every single location. He would be on set for the block throughs of scenes, making sure that the stories were being told correctly and that the actors and the directors were making the quite correct decision. He'd be across every frame of the edit, and every single visual effect shot was approved by Chip. Same with the scoring. You know, it's a complete hands-on, micromanaging attention to detail, which is what makes the show so consistent, is that level of creative overview. And so watching him do that taught me, well, it made me nervous because it's such a massive job I was taking on and there were such big shoes to fill, but also taught me about what is important and how easy it is to let something slip, and a whole lot of things can fall over like a row of dominoes if you're not careful and not across things. So yeah, attention to detail was a big part of what Chip taught me.
Now, in the past, Power Rangers has had some traditions that fans still clamor for. For example, there were always team-ups in previous seasons. Now, I know that in Ninja Steel, there was a massive team-up with Dimensions in Danger, and in Beast Morphers, there was that epic grid connection episode with all the Dino teams. Is team-ups, because one of the things that we used to get was team-ups with the previous season, are those on the table still, or things that you can look for, or fans can look forward to possibly bringing back for the future iterations of Power Rangers?
Well, obviously I can't talk in any detail about Dino Fury.
Sure.
But those kinds of team-ups have always been part of the show, as you say, in the past. I think that COVID makes things more complicated because we film in New Zealand and the borders are closed and you have to get a government exemption to come into the country. So that is a challenge, particularly if we were to bring an actor in to film for 2 or 3 days. They would have to be in quarantine for 2 weeks after they arrived if we could get them into the country. So there are challenges in the way there. But I do think an awareness of the previous versions of the show and the previous Ranger teams is something going forward that is likely to be part of the show on an ongoing basis. I think that one of the interesting things about Beast Morphers was that it brought all the various prior teams and dimensions together by having Grid Battle Force, where people studied Power Ranger history and they knew about the various teams, they knew about all the various villains from the past, meant that in future seasons, the previous teams are real in the world, as opposed to let's pretend they didn't exist and we're starting from scratch. See, now you're talking to the geek, my inner geek of Power Rangers right now. Amazing to me. Now, the Beast Morphers finale airs this week. It wraps up a tremendous season, and you guys finished so strong. It was such an amazing season. But right after that, how soon into the process do you go right back to work and start on the next season? Do you guys get a chance to enjoy the finale at all, or is it right back to work? Well, you have to remember we filmed the finale, I think, in April last year. So how long is that? It's many, many months ago. 18, 20 months ago, we filmed that finale. So I've been working on Dino Fury since May of last year. As soon as I came off Beast Morphers, I went for a 1-week holiday with my family. And then I was into developing and working with Chip and the writers on the new season. And that was in development for a good 18 months before production got underway. So coming up with the concept and the story outlines and writing all those scripts through all their various drafts and accommodating all the feedback and the notes and the input that various people, it's not a quick process, and a lot of thought goes into it. And by the time filming starts, pretty much the whole season has been worked out.
It's amazing. Now, the show has been around for nearly 30 years, and it's outlasted many other family shows, kid shows. Why do you think Power Rangers has lasted the test of time?
I think the formula works. I think it was Haim Saban's invention to adapt Sentai and create a unique team up of teenage superheroes, but utilizing the fantastic designs and monsters and Zords and costumes from the Japanese show. That was quite a unique idea, bringing all those elements together. And I think it's held its appeal with young viewers. And the other thing about Power Rangers is that it's made for predominantly sort of 4 to 6, 4 to 7-year-old kids. And every 2 years, that audience refreshes, it reinvents itself. There's another whole new range of kids that age who can be introduced to it. So in a way, you've got a unique show with an audience that's constantly being refreshed, which is a positive. But also I would say that the color of those Power Rangers, those bright primary colors, and the excitement of the action sequences, they'll never get old or stale. And I think kids just love watching that. And finally, I think that the values of the show endure, you know, the basic values of teamwork and friendship and good versus evil. That's something that everyone will identify with, and it keeps going. It's significant.
I couldn't agree more. Power Rangers is very reminiscent to me of an American version of Doctor Who, where the audience gets to grow with the Doctor, and you get a new Doctor every now and then. And it feels very much like you said, it's almost like every 2 years, it's like a regeneration for Power Rangers with a new team out there. Speaking of new teams, I know that we're not going to talk that much about Dino Fury, but we're going back to dinosaurs, and dinosaurs have always been synonymous with Power Rangers. When I think of dinosaurs as a kid, or even now as an adult, automatically my mind just drifts to Power Rangers. Can you tell me why dinosaurs and Power Rangers just seems like such a great fit together?
I don't know, other than that it's worked in the past with Dino Charge and Mighty Morphin. I do think young kids have a fascination with dinosaurs. I don't know if that's built into people's DNA or if it's cultural or what, but you go into any toy shop and you can see shelves and shelves full of dinosaur products. And I know both my kids went through a dinosaur phase where even before my daughter could talk, she could see a dinosaur and she could make growling noises. You know, there's that childlike fascination with monsters, with big things that growl. And, you know, it's whether there's a monster under the bed, which terrifies you as a kid, but also fascinates you at the same time. And I think that's kind of hardwired into us and has become something that's pretty universal. So dinosaurs have a huge appeal for kids. And I think that's why the dinosaur seasons and Power Rangers work and will continue to work.
Out of curiosity, what's your favorite season when you went back and watched all the shows?
I really like RPM, to be honest. I do appreciate that it's more adult in tone. So as far as hitting home with the show's target audience, it might not have been the most successful, but I really like the aesthetic of that show. And I like the way that the comedy within the show was built into the Ranger team and felt like a natural aspect of the Ranger storytelling. There are various things of that show that I really admire. Not that I would necessarily be replicating them, but sure. as a piece of television, I really like that season.
Now, in 30 years, the franchise has amassed such a wide range of fans, with celebrities included like WWE superstars Seth Rollins, Ronda Rousey, and Xavier Woods wearing ring gear that have influenced them from Power Rangers. And also you got NFL players doing morphs after tackles. And even this year, the Kardashians were Power Rangers for Halloween. So can you talk to me about how to balance, how to use that balancing act for a show that's primarily for 4 to 6 year olds, but also has this this large fan base that's been following the show for such a long span of time?
It's really challenging. If you start thinking about all those adult fans out there, then you just can't function. We have to make the show for the target audience, which is 4 to 7-year-olds or 4 to 6-year-olds, because that requires a particular type of writing and a particular type of storytelling. And if it continues to have resonance with a wider audience, with an adult audience, particularly people who might have grown up watching Power Rangers in the 90s and still feel very affectionate towards it and have a sense of nostalgia, then that's great. That's fantastic. From time to time, we do bring in threads or ideas or stories or characters that hark back to previous seasons. And yes, that is a conscious way of rewarding the loyal fans who have stuck with the show, but it always has to be in such a way that we're not going to lose the kids. The kids have to watch that episode and love the episode, even if they've got no idea who the people from previous teams are or what the references are. So keeping the show successful for the young audience, from our point of view, is the single most important thing, and everything else is a fantastic bonus.
Last question I have for you, Simon, is Power Ranger has spanned over 27 years with completely different iterations. And I know that you said earlier that you really loved RPM, the aesthetic of it, the look of it as a piece of television, but you wouldn't necessarily, be infusing whatever we have coming up next with that. But if fans were to try to pick your brain and say, you know what do we think the tone is going to be for Dino Fury? If you were to say, you know what, maybe watch this season, what would that recommended rewatch be?
I can't say anything about Dino Fury except to say that there will be dinosaurs in it, and the fans should watch Dino Charge and Mighty Morphin, because those seasons also had dinosaurs in them. But I can't give away anything. All I can say is I'm really happy with how it is developing, and I think it is unique and fresh, and I'm hoping that the fans will be super excited when they get to see it.
We already are excited for it. We can't wait for Dino Fury. But look, let's not forget Beast Morphers wraps up this weekend, and Beast Morphers was so good. And I felt it really brought Power Rangers back to what its core was. And it really was a love letter to the fans. So I want to thank all you guys for giving us Beast Morphers. We're truly excited for what's on the horizon for Power Rangers, because we think that, we're just scratching the surface with how big it can grow. So Simon, it's been a pleasure chatting with you.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Howdy, guys. That was a great interview. Great job, Joe. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for spending your Saturday with us. Be sure to always like our pages. You could like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We'll keep you up to date with everything we got going on. 2021 is going to be a fun time for Ranger fans. We're excited to bring you along on the journey. But we'll see you next week with the Ranger wrap-up. Be sure to check out the Retro Ranger wrap-up, which is coming up next, and also our Star Wars show. We also on Sundays we have a wrestling show, so be sure to check those out, you guys. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to keep update with us, because we're the Illuminerdi, and we are always watching.